it's Mari from Mari Haraya Archives. We are doing our monthly check-in and we are in November, so we are going to talk about October. I can't believe we are almost at the end of this year, but October was pretty fun. And I did a lot of journaling in my end pages. And yeah, so what we're going to do today is we're going to kind of look back on October, see how our weeks is going, and then set up our November like we always do. And then actually towards the end, I wanted to also share the favorite pens that I like to use in my Hobonichi Weeks. Maybe that's helpful for someone who is starting out in the Hobonichi Weeks and wants to see what pens would work great on the Tomo River paper, and then of course the size. And so I wanted to share some of the favorite pens that I use and then show you how I use it in my Hobonichi Weeks. And recently, not recently, but recently I have been enjoying a lot more color when it comes to my pens. And so I did do a little pen buying spree for 2026, but I started using it already. So, but I do enjoy adding a little bit more color to my journal, because I don't know, it just adds so much more character in my journaling. It's effortless, it's not like something that you have to really think, but just changing the color of your ink on your pen and then putting on your paper, it looks really nice. So I wanted to share that. So before we do that, let's get into our October. Now, if you're new to my channel, I do journal or document my day. So what I like to call how I journal is that I document my day in a Hobonichi Weeks. This is a 2025. I forgot what the design name is, but I enjoy using the Hobonichi Weeks to document my days because I do enjoy what I call sticker journaling, where I document my day with specific stickers. It has allowed me to kind of utilize my stickers, but not only that, just kind of in my way be a little bit more creative when it comes to journaling, because I'm not really much of a writer. And so this style of journaling is my favorite way because it's low pressure for me. And so I do use the blank pages in the back to journal a little bit more if I feel the need to write a little bit more. And that has really worked out for me. I do have a video about how I journal in the Hobonichi Weeks. I actually have several different videos. So I'll either link it above or I'll link it at the end of the video in the end screen. So, okay, let's go ahead and get started. Let me get myself comfy. And I mean, it's a pretty simple process. We're also going to set up November and I'll show you. I think it's been a while since I actually showed you my actual setup. And let me see if this is a good. Okay. So first off, let's just get into October and see how it went. And let me see if I can actually bring you guys down just a little bit closer. There we go. I think that's a lot better so you guys can see it better. Okay, so before we set up for November, let's go ahead and go over October. And what I like to do is for my monthly, so I guess to kind of go page by page, this right here, I like to put it used to be months and themes, but now what I've been doing is just I've been putting a favorite sticker of mine that I want to represent that month. And so for October, we did the pumpkins, of course, because, Halloween. This first page right here is kind of like my vision board, not necessarily like goals, but just something pretty to look at. I just put a lot of my favorite stickers. A lot of it has kind of a blue theme because that is my favorite color. And so that is what I have here. So every time I open it, this is what I see. And I also see this. So what I ended up doing was stamping it with one of my favorite stamps, and then in one of my favorite colors. And so when I open my Hobonichi Weeks, this is the first thing I see. I highly, highly recommend anyone doing that if they want to personalize the Hobonichi Weeks. I feel like every page is important. So especially this right here. And usually it has like little Hobonichi wording here. So I think next year I might do like a collage of stickers for 2026. I will be in an A6 Techo, so I will have a little bit smaller space. So I am still deciding on that. There will be a video that will come out once I decide on how I want to set up for 2026. Probably around the end of November, maybe the beginning of December, when I start getting into the mood of prepping for 2026. And then I kind of washied this out because I got tired of flipping to these pages that I don't really use, which was like the yearly page and the monthly overviews for each year. And I just washed it out because I was like, every time I turn to that page, I'm like, oh, I should do something. And I was like, you know what? Out of sight, out of mind. So I stuck it together so I don't turn to it. Problem solved. Okay. And so what I like to do for my monthly pages is actually document our dinners that we eat. Now for the month of October is right here. Now I like to document our dinners because I don't know, I feel like it's just one of those things that is very prominent in our lives. Obviously eating is very prominent in everybody's lives, but more so we've been more diligent about cooking and I don't know, just being a little bit more organized about our meals and stuff like that, and trying out new recipes and so forth. And so that's something that we do enjoy doing. And so I like to document the things that we do make every day, and just to kind of give a space for things that we automatically do and kind of leave on the back burner and don't really pay attention to. But yeah, so for October, these are the meals we did. And usually we do cook at home, but we did go out a few times, but majority of the time we did cook at home. I would say 1, 2, we did have guests over during the beginning of October, and so we did eat out a little bit more than usual. But other than that, these are our meals. And so for November, we will set that up. So let's go ahead and turn to our weekly section for October. Now, this is how I document my days. Like I had mentioned earlier, I don't journal a lot because I don't like to write, and sometimes I don't know what to write. But there are days where I prefer to journal a little bit more about my day, and so that's what I use the back pages for. Now, the weekly pages is what I use to document my day, meaning I literally record the mundane, like what I do every single day. And some days, well, most days are actually the same, like pick up the kids, drop them off. Most of our days consist of grocery shopping and going to the post office and all that stuff. So a lot of this is all the same. But what I love about doing it this way is that I can document the mundane things, the everyday things, but in a way where I can be artistic about it with my stickers and with my lettering. And so that has been so much fun. Okay, so October started out, this is September, here we go. So this is where October started. And what I like to do is for each week, I like to pick out like a color combo. And so you'll see that I have different color combos for each week, just to kind of separate them so they don't all look the same. Well, it's hard for them to look the same, but because of all the different stickers, but still, just to kind of give variety to what I do on a daily basis. And so as you can see here, October is right here. And yeah, this is how it looked for the first week of October. And here is the second week. I've just really been into green and orange lately, especially for this month. It's most likely because of the season. And then here is the third week. And this is a great way for me to actually utilize my markers and my pens. And this year I have been utilizing all of my stationery more than usual, which is a plus because that has been a goal of mine. And so I'm super happy that that is the case and that we are just about full when it comes to this book. But yeah, but I definitely have learned some things that I would like to continue doing for 2026 and what I want to continue documenting and recording. A lot. When I first started, I know a lot of it has been in like separate books, but I think I might be combining a few things just to make it easier on me. And we'll talk more about that in another video when I'm prepared to, talk more about 2026. And let's see, here is the last week of October, which was super fun. I love the orange. Orange has been a surprise color for me when it comes to journaling. I'm more into neutral earth tones, not so much bright. And so when I actually started using orange back in the summertime, I was hooked. I was like, oh, I really love orange, to the point where I actually went and bought a bunch of different orange pens to try out. And so I'll share that with you later on. But this was the last week. And as you can see, I really love how it all turned out. But if I had to pick a week that is my favorite when it comes to like color combo, I would have to say this one. This would be my favorite. It's so much fun. Again, that orange just pops, and I love how it turned out. And so I obviously for November has started last week, so I didn't have to set this up for November. But now that we are in a brand new week in November, I definitely need to set that up. So we're going to do that as well. But let's go ahead and go into my blank pages. Like I had mentioned, I do like to journal when the time comes and when I want to kind of talk a little bit more about my day. And so that's September. But so here was October. So our last monthly check-in, we did, do this. And I want to say for the month of October, I actually journaled a lot more than any month. I guess you would say October was a very fun-filled month for October. So a lot of things were happening in October. We had some great friends come and visit us. And so we did a lot of things. And then just the whole Halloween and all that stuff. And I did get a lot of like stationery packages that came in for 2026 during my stationery buy. And so I did talk about that. And so October has a lot more pages because on average, I do journal about maybe like 2 or 3 times a month. And so, and which is why I'm kind of excited for 2026, where I'm actually kind of combining the two on one page, if it calls for it, in my A6 Techo, which again, I'll talk more about that. But as the days go by, as the months go by, I'm getting a little bit more closer and closer on how I'm going to journal in 2026. And I'm getting so excited about it. But, so this is what has happened. We've had some people come over, our friends come over, just little things. And then, let's see, I've got a few, Mariah Carey CDs, because a lot of my Mariah Carey CDs I bought when I was a teenager, and I still do have it, but I do have certain ones that got either lost or left in a CD player back in the day. I still had everything, but the CD was missing. And so one week I went out and went on Macari to find them like super cheap, just so I can replace the CDs that were missing. And so that's what I've been doing. And then of course I had my pen haul. I got a few things from some stationery shops. Like here are some of the PET washi tape that I got and the stamp that I got. This was a pen haul from Jet Pens, and these were the pens that I actually got. I actually love this spread, which I wish I would have done this prior in my other pages when I had a stationery haul. Usually I put it in a insert, which is, I will show you, which is this. This is more specifically for when I get like stationery buys. And so now I think this is almost full. So what I've been doing is I've just been kind of journaling about it, and then also putting like the ephemera that I get from the packages into this one. Just so I can have it, I guess, in both places. Because I thought at first maybe it would be annoying for me to do here and there, but I actually enjoy having it in this book in my everyday. And so yeah. And then here is another one, again, another haul. Again, just the stamps that I got, the stickers, I put it on the page. And yeah, I just love having it here, and it just looks so pretty on the page. So I think I will continue doing that for 2026, where I will put it on my like daily journal, but then also put it in here. And it's not like, for this one, it's a little bit more in detail, versus the other one is just more of like, this is the packaging, this is where I got it from, this is where I put the business cards and stuff like that. And so yeah, that was really fun to do. Again, here's my traveler's haul. This is me practicing drawing again, which I am going to be doing for 2026. I have been kind of slowly trying to incorporate it in my journaling. And so this is me doing that again. So this is my traveler's notebook haul for 2026. I thought it's super, super cute. Definitely I am rusty, that's for sure, because when I was drawing this, it was just very awkward, and like the muscle memory did not kick in. And so it's a start though, right? This was fun too. We did a Costco run, and they had a sale on their 4-pack of like the Mrs. Meyer's what do you call it, hand soap, and they had these scratch and sniff stickers, scratch and sniff stickers. And I was like, I have to put this in my journal. And so every time I turn to this page, I can smell like the scents. And funny enough, my youngest son saw it, and I was like, wait, have you ever heard of scratch and sniff stickers? He's like, no. And I just realized, I was like, oh man, he's never had an experience to like, and so I let him, so he was like, whoa, that's cool. So that was a cool experience. So again, adding that to my page was fun. And then just a little bit more journaling about my day, last stationery haul, again, a little bit more stationery haul. And then my youngest, his birthday just passed on the 30th. He just turned 14, which is crazy to me that our youngest is 14. And so, and then just talking about our Halloween experience and all that stuff, and pumpkin carving. I drew out the pumpkins that our whole family did, and it was really, really fun. Mine was the favorite, not just me because I'm being biased, but everybody who came to our house for Halloween said that the ghost one was very much their favorite. And if you haven't seen it, it was on my Instagram. I actually posted the pumpkin that I carved, which was really, really cool. I think it's the best pumpkin yet that I've carved. So that was super fun. So yeah. So again, just, I don't know, I've just been really enjoying how I use this Hobonichi Weeks to document the things in my life. And so yeah. And then for October, so at the end pages, I actually have our where I record all of our movies and TV shows that we watch, because that's something me and my husband really enjoy doing. And so I like to kind of record that. And so for October, these are the items these are the things that we watch. A lot of TV shows, a lot of shows that run into the next day. And so I would say maybe like we watched maybe 3 or 4 new movies this month, not including movies that we've already watched before. And it's just those movies that we like to watch over and over again. Sometimes, like Maze Runner. We love that movie. So we watched the whole series, and we're hoping for 4. I don't know if they'll ever do. I believe there is a book. In the book, there's 4 books, but yeah, that's pretty much what we've been doing. Again, it was pretty busy for the month of October, so we weren't able to really watch a lot of movies. But yeah, so for November, I've already went ahead and set it up. We've got a head start for November, if you guys can see. Of course, as soon as November 1 kicks in, I'm like Christmas mode. We haven't put up our Christmas tree, but we will this week for sure. Usually I try November 1st, but if we're busy or if we're just too tired, then we just make sure that we get it up by the first week of November, because Christmas is my all-time favorite. And so I like to look at a Christmas tree a lot longer than 1 month. And plus, it's so much hard work decorating for Christmas that I rather enjoy the fruits of our labor a little bit more than 30 days. And I like to have the ambiance of the lighting and all that stuff for Thanksgiving. And so, yeah, so definitely this week we will get that put up, and I can't wait. And so I do get in, well, all year round, I listen to Christmas music and watch Christmas movies, but more so once November 1 hits. And so I did watch Wonka and Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. It's one of my favorite movies, the original Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. And then we watched Wonka as well, because we watched it in theaters a couple of Christmases ago, or was it last Christmas? I think it was last Christmas. And so it's just one of those movies we enjoy. My youngest actually enjoys like musical movies like me. And so we're always watching musicals. I think this year was Wicked, or maybe the end. Was it this year? Or last Christmas was Wicked, and the Christmas before that was Wonka. So usually during Christmas time, we watch a musical at the theaters for our Advent calendar activity. So not sure what's going to be this year, but we'll see. Okay, so that is for October. Okay, let's get into November and get that set up. Okay. So for November, I am thinking for our stickers, maybe some kind of nature sticker. And there we go. Let me go ahead and scoot you guys like this. Okay, so let us see what we can do. So here are some nature. Let's see. What I'll probably do is I will speed this process up for you, so you guys aren't watching me flip through pages after page. So yeah, we'll just fast forward this for you guys. Okay, I think I know I have a coffee cup here, but I really love how this looks. But I think I'm gonna go with, this one. There we go. Okay, and so for November, what's on the menu, I do want to add some stickers for that. And so let us go into, I have a few actually. I have been loving these stickers, as you can see. And I think for last month, we did kind of the same girls, but we might just go ahead and do the same. These are cute. It's a little bit more fall-ish, so let's do that. So let's do this cheesecake, which we'll put right. Oh wait, are we in November? Yep, that's November. Phew, that was December. Okay. Okay, I am back. Sorry about that. My mic was going off and I literally panicked because I thought, oh my gosh, did my mic go off midway? And luckily, no, it was blinking red. And so I guess that's like a warning saying, hey, I'm about to turn off. So luckily none of my audio got lost. So, okay, we're back. I got a fresh mic on. Whew, I panicked a little bit. My heart stopped. I was like, oh my gosh. Okay. So, we got that. And then I also wanted to put, there was where was that? The bakery one, because I feel like during this time, I like to bake a little bit more. I mean, I bake throughout the year, but more so during the holidays. So I'm looking forward to doing that. And then let's see, maybe, where is my food sticker book? Let's see if there's anything cozy I can find here to put. Let's see. I think this is cute. We'll add it right. We'll add it right here. There we go. And so as you can see right here, I've already started our Thanksgiving menu. We've already been brainstorming it since the beginning of October. Of what we want to eat. And so obviously we have made actually a few changes for Thanksgiving. Now we don't usually do a typical Thanksgiving. Sometimes we do. I think last year we did we do last year or the year prior? I think 2023. We did do a traditional Thanksgiving meal, but usually what we like to do for Thanksgiving is kind of just what we feel like eating, because we're not very big on turkey. And so we don't want to spend our money on food that we just are not going to eat. And so usually our Thanksgiving meals consist of our favorite foods, a lot of like ribeye, crab legs, just our favorite foods. And so this year is what we're going to do is our favorite foods as well. And we're looking at, again, crab legs because it's one of my favorite foods. And then of course, a few things that we always traditionally like to have, like my kids always ask for brioche stuffing, which I actually started making brioche stuffing for them 2017. And so, so that's something that we always have. And of course, ham. And so, yeah, so I'm excited for Thanksgiving. We've already started purchasing, items like the crab legs. We get it frozen here because they don't have fresh crab legs, which is weird. Usually, anyways, I have a whole rant about that, but we already purchased our crab legs because it was on sale. And so, that helps out with our Thanksgiving budget. And yeah, and so right now what we're looking at is prime rib and crab legs. And then we're looking obviously at our brioche stuffing. We're looking at a baked potato, some mixed veggies, deviled eggs. And I think for this year, usually I make our own dessert. And a good friend of mine gave me recipe for bread pudding, so I think we're going to do that for Thanksgiving. So I'm really excited for Thanksgiving. So, and yeah, okay, so we have that together, and then let's go ahead and write on the menu. And I think we'll do green. Yeah, let's do green. Just do on the menu. And then, oops. I like to kind of outline it. I'm just using a green pen to outline the letters so you can really see what it says. Okay, so super simple. This is kind of like the things that I like to do to prep for the new month. Okay, now if we go into our weekly, now this is a very simple process for me. I have to keep it simple because of the fact that if it's a lot more work, then it's not sustainable for me. So luckily this has been sustainable for me. I've been doing this almost a year, and so it hasn't been like one of those things where it feels like homework. So I like to make my days vertical just because it just makes sense for me to how I document, and I prefer it that way. And so it's super simple. I like to use this stamp set from Raw Market Shop. I think they're based out in Singapore or Taiwan. Singapore? I always get it wrong. But this is one of my favorites. It's very simple, and I like the fact that the numbers are like this, so I don't have to do separate like one and then especially when it comes into the the double digit, it's already there. And then I use one of my favorite stamps is the Shashihata in black. And so yeah, very super simple process. Let me go ahead and pull you guys out. Okay, so before I actually do that, let me put this here. I have to add my lines. And again, this is a very easy process. It only consists of how many lines? 6 lines. So I'm just using the dots that are provided on here to separate. And I'm just using a mechanical pencil by Pentel. It's a 0.5 mm, one of my favorite pencils to use. And this one has a dark line already, so that's what I use for that box. And then I count 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for the next one. Like I try to do it as even as possible. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But the last box only has, or the last column only has 5 boxes, which is okay because it's usually Sunday, and usually Sunday is a very chill day for us. So a lot of the times it's just we're at home. Well, we're always at home, but we don't really do as much as we would do on a weekday. Okay, and then now what I like to do is go ahead and stamp the days of the week. And I've been stamping this for a long time, and so I kind of got the hang of where this is going, like the alignment, but I'm not very fussy about it. You know, I kind of do the best I can to make it straight, but if it's not, that's okay. I feel like, I don't know, I'm not too perfect when it comes to my planner journal. It is what it is. And I try not to, like, it's not a big deal if it's not aligned or if it's not on the line, like so. And like I mentioned, it's a pretty easy process for me, and I will probably speed this up so you're not watching me for 5 minutes. Okay, so that is done. And what I like to do is I kind of offset it to the left a little bit because I like to leave space on the right side for my weather stamps. Now, the weather stamps, I just incorporated it. When did I do it? Probably back in July. Yep, July is when I started it because I don't know, I guess that's something cute that I wanted to, that's something that I wanted to record on, what day it was, and also to kind of reflect to like, why I was sleeping a lot. Oh, it was rainy that day, so that explains it. Because rainy days makes me really sleepy. So today it has rained and it's probably going to rain a little bit more, so I'm just going to go ahead and prepare that since we're already here in rain. And these are the stamps that I like to use for my weather stamps. These right here. And these are, I think it's the Ramu brand. I have to double check. But I love their stamps, the little teddy bear stamps. And then I do have a color coordination when it comes to these stamps. Since it was rainy, it's going to be blue for water. So I like to color that in. And then for this week, the color combo that I've chosen was these two colors, which is like a brown burgundy. So that is going to be this week's theme. Okay, so that's all set up. I think the last thing that we need to do is set up our cover page for November when it comes to journaling. And I have not thought this through, but let us go ahead. Actually, okay, let me put this. And I'm sure I have some fall stickers. The first thing that I like to do is check this sticker book, which has all my people in it. And I do know I do have some fall related girls here. So let's kind of flip through to see what we have. So we got some really pretty ones here. Here's one cute one. She's holding a candle, and I don't think I've used her as a cover page. Let's see. Yep. I think so. If not, I think I'm going to go with her. Yeah, okay. I think we got it. I think we're going to go with her. Although it's pretty cold, I'll leave that for December. I do have these December ones. So let's see what else we have before we commit. But I'm pretty sure. These are food. Yeah, let's do this one. This would be perfect. And I also have, before we lay this one down, I do have new Kita, actually not Kita, these washi tapes that I just got in. I love bird washi tape, but this one right here, more specifically these two, I feel like is very fallish. So let's add that to the page. I'm just gonna stick it right here, and then probably stick this one right. That is cute. Okay. Anything else that I would like to add to this? Let's look in my objects sticker book and see if I can find something that is cozy. cute. Candle. There's a chair here. I think that's cute. Okay, I think that's good. Let's go ahead and add our... I do like to stamp it November, so let's go ahead and get our November stamp. Perfect. And then, so this is a book that I like to pull out. This is a Travelers Company A5 Slim spiral notebook in their kangaroo style, which is the pockets. And I like to put, right now I currently have my transfer stickers in here, which every time I open this, I'm like, I need to use it. I keep forgetting about it, but I have a lot of these, and I definitely will be using it in my 2026 journaling, which I will definitely put a little bit more effort in doing that. So, okay, I do like to use, where is my, right here, the number 11. We are coming into November, which is a very important month for me and my husband. We will be celebrating our 26th year anniversary, not wedding anniversary, but since we've been together, anniversary. So we just actually celebrated our 24-year wedding anniversary in September. And yeah, and we're now into November this year, which makes 26 years that we've been together, which is crazy. It doesn't feel like 26 years. Time flies when you're having so much fun. Okay, so I like to tab it. So this is a Travelers Company 2020, or not 2026, it's their diary. I get this every single year. And so I like to use their tabs. And let's go ahead and get this out of the way. And so here we are. Go ahead and tab it for November. Where is October? Again, I always get nervous when I do this because I feel like I never get it right. All right. So I'm seeing we do have enough space for the number 12 later on. So that's good. Just going to kind of give it a little bit more space. Okay. Okay. We got November tabbed. It's looking beautiful. And then we have enough space for December, which I was a little bit worried about that we would have no space for it, but we do. So I believe next year I'm just going to make sure that I kind of go up a little bit more so I can give December a little bit more room. But other than that, now we got our journal section primed for journaling for November. And so I only have this many pages for November and December, and I feel like that is plenty enough. I think, you guys, that I will be actually using all of my blank pages for the very first time ever in my entire life of journaling, that I will actually be completing this Hobonichi week. So I am very, 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 very excited. In fact, hopefully it's not where I'm like, oh man, I need more pages. but we shall see. But look, this is very manageable and doable for the next 60 days. So yay. Okay, that is it, guys. Okay, so let's go into the pens that I love using for my Hobonichi weeks. Now, as you can see, here are the different, I'm just gonna kind of flip through fastly of all the different colors that I used and in my journaling. And I would like to show you those pens. Now I do have a pen swatching book. Let's see, where is it? I have it in this notebook. Now did I do a video on this? I think I started to, but then I didn't do it. But this is the same spiral notebook as this one, but instead of the pocket pages, it's just blank pages. And I love these notebooks. And so this is where I do my pen swatch. Now I do have a different book for fountain pen ink and fountain pens. This is strictly just pens and markers. And so it's all separated. It's all tabbed by color. And this is how it looks. This is the black, purple. Here's the orange, pink, as you can see, red, and so forth. Green. And then I think I have blue here. And so let me share the pens that I like to use. So I currently have it housed in my tiny pen totes. Now, if you're not familiar with my tiny pen totes, it's something that we created for journalers like myself. It was more of a need for me because I like to pick out colors of the week. And so I wanted something really cute to hold those colors, those pens for the week, and be able to it's just like a very simple tote. It's made to look like a little tote. And I have two sizes. There's the standard size and then also a passport size, which is smaller, like so. And so and because obviously we make these, I have every single color. And so what I ended up using them for was to separate all the colored pencils. So I have all of my like yellow, orange in the yellow pen tote, and then the blues in the blue pen tote, and so forth. Now I do need to make a red pen tote and a purple pen tote, and then it'll definitely coordinate. So, okay. So let me show you the pens that I love using. And a lot of it are the same, but different colors. But I want to mention are the Sarasa Clip from Zebra. This is one of my favorite pens to use. I love the vintage colors, but they come in an array of colors. And let's see. I'm just going to turn to some of the pages that I'm actually using the color so you kind of get a visual. Let's see. Here is a page that I use for this color. I absolutely love how it turns out, and it doesn't like, it kind of ghosts just a little bit, but barely. But again, this is Tomoe River paper, and so it's not like 100%, but it kind of ghosts a little bit, but it doesn't bleed. And I have this in the 05, and they come with different colors, so I do love those pens. Another pen that I love using is my Juice Up pen. This is by Pilot. Pilot is like one of my all-time favorite pen brands, but they're Juice Up in 04. They also have a smaller one, but I tend to like 04. They have different colors, and I just like how thin it is when it comes to writing small, especially in a Hobonichi Weeks. And I believe, let's see, I know I use this. This actually might be the pen I use for this one. So one pen that I love using is that. Another pen, I'm just kind of, did I show this? This is also a Pilot Juice pen. Now it's a little bit different than the Juice Up. This is a 04. I actually don't know what the difference is. But the Pilot Juice pens, again, this is a 5. And this is right here. This is where I used it on. Another ink brand or pen that I like to use is, where is it? No, it's not that one. This right here. It's the Energel liquid gel ink in the 05. I absolutely love this one, and let's go ahead, and I do have a test page. So this is the Energel, and this is in the needle tip 05, and this is Energel. It kind of bleeds a little bit, but this is a 2025, so the paper is not so good, but I still use it because I use stickers on the other side and you can't see it. But I do like using those pens, as well as this right here. This is another pen that I love using. It's the Uniball Signo DX in the 0.38. This is a great pen to use, and this one does not bleed, but I like how thin it is. And this is in the 0.38, and this is Uniball Signo DX. This is another great pen to use in your Hobonichi Weeks. So again, this is not very good paper right now, the 2025, but I do like the colors that it comes in and the size of the tip. Now, some new ones that I'm actually trying out this is also the Uniball 1 is also another pen that I like to use in the Hobonichi Weeks. I do have several different colors. Also, they come in like big fat ones. I have it on my shelf, but again, these are great pens as well, the Uniball ones. And then some of the new ones that I'm trying out are this one right here. It's the Pilot Friction. I have to get used to clicking it here. I'm not used to clicking things here, which is weird. I keep wanting to do this, but this is one of the erasable pens. But again, love this color. This is, I think, in Sophia, I think is the color of it. But I definitely love how it looks. And this is in the 0.5 tip. And again, right here. This isn't ghosting, it's actually from here. The ink is actually transferring over. So these are actually not ghosting. I thought they were bleeding. It's not bleeding. It's actually transfer from this ink right here, which is weird. So that's good. It's not really bleeding. This one's a little bit, but yeah, so this is a Pilot Friction. I love this color. So this is 0.5. So this is me adding a little bit more brown tones into my collection. I do have a lot more darker, but not like a lighter. So this is new that I've been trying. As well as these right here. These are the pilots, and these are kind of like fine markers, but this is another pen that I like to use. But as far as all these pens, they are all from the same family, like the Pilot Juice, the Zebra Sarasa, the what is it? The Pilots. And one thing that I want to also mention, well, I don't really like using this because it kind of smears. So the Uniball Signo UM153 is also a good pen that I love using. In fact, this one's all used up. But this one right here, I absolutely love, and I can't find it anymore. But it's the Pilot High Tech C. And I've mentioned this before, and I can't find it anymore, and the ink is gone. And I'm trying to find it. But this was also a great black pen that I like to use in my Hobonichi Weeks because, and it's in the 0.4 tip. And I just love how crisp and just, I don't know, I love using this. So this one is a great pen to use in your Hobonichi Weeks. And then just kind of special mentions that you can get off of Amazon is the Keiko brand. I do love using these. They're very inexpensive. And so usually I get them in like packs of 10s or more. But they also have the Pantone edition, which I love. This is, I think, I forgot what year this is. It's a 2020, which was the classic blue, which was the Pantone color of that year, of course, because I love blue. And so this is what I got. So this is an inexpensive pen that I like. Well, this one is. This one is like $20 for two. Not very cheap, in my opinion. But I only have one box of it. But yeah, so those are the pens that I absolutely love using, along with obviously the mild liners. That's a great marker to use. And I like to use my Sailor Shikiori markers. This is the markers that I use in my lettering, like so. And then I use my pens to outline it. So these are the markers that I use. And then I recently, because I've had this for a while and never used it until now, was the the Uni Emote Fine markers. Now, these tend to bleed on the Hobonichi. I don't know if it's this because of this paper, this year's paper, but they do kind of bleed through. And so I haven't really been using this as much because, let's see if there's any, because it was bleeding so bad. And so I just stopped using it. But I do love these markers, so we'll see how it is on the new paper. I'll probably swatch it for 2026 in another video. But these are the markers that I do use for my lettering. I did find a new, let's see, is it this one right here? Yeah, the Pilot Furu, what is this called? Hold on. I wrote it down here, obviously. Let's see, blue. It is called the Pilot Fude Makase, and it's an extra fine. So these are kind of new markers that I'm wanting to try out, and this is how it looks like right there. So I'm going to be trying this out. I got it in, I think, 2 or 3 colors to try, and then we'll go from there. And hopefully, if it's something that I enjoy using, I will probably get the whole pack. But that's the new markers that I've introduced into my world. And honestly, I've been loving these. And so when these run out, I probably will buy, I don't know if they do refills on these. If not, I'll probably have to buy the whole pack again, the whole set, because I have a few markers that's already dried out, or not dried out, but I've used up all the markers. But I feel for 2026, I think I will be able to use it for the whole year of 2026. I hope so. but I don't know. It's new territory for me to actually use up a set of markers. So we'll see. Okay. So that is pretty much it. I will also, well, you probably already seen it once I edit this, but I will put the names of all those pens that I just showed you. But yeah, those are the pens that I like using in my Hobonichi Weeks and for when I journal. And I am so much looking forward to November and filling up the pages for November. And I honestly can't believe that we are almost done with the year and that we have journaled that many times or documented. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you made it this far, thank you for hanging out with me. Thank you for, looking through my October and setting up our November and kind of listen to me chit chat about some of my favorite pens that I like to use for journaling. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys are having an amazing first week in November, and I will see you guys in the next check-in, but I will also see you guys in the next video.